Can you describe how exactly you can tell how intuitive someone is?
Yeah. So when we have to make difficult decisions, we often think, all right, this is something I better think through carefully, think through consciously carefully. But in fact, that doesn't always lead to the best solution, because there are some problems that are simply too complicated for the limited processing power of the conscious mind, the ego, and are best left to the unconscious. And so here's an experiment that demonstrated that. It involved a pattern of dots that appeared on a screen. And the dot could appear in one of four places. And when you saw it appear on the screen, you had to press a key, one of four keys, to indicate where it was. And the program measured how long it took you to press the correct key. Now, let's say there was a simple pattern, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 3, 4, 2.
Sure.
After about 3 or 4 repetitions, you'd recognize it and you'd start pressing the key much, much faster compared to if it were completely random.
Right.
So what the researchers did is that they created these patterns that were so complicated, the conscious mind couldn't figure it out. All right. And the way they tested that is they told people there's a complicated pattern here. Try to find it. And then they measured how fast they pushed the keys, and they compared it to random. And with the very, very complex pattern, their performance was worse than with random, because they were using so much energy trying to find a pattern that was just overwhelming their conscious circuits.
Right.
All right, then they didn't tell them. They didn't tell them there was a pattern, so they wouldn't waste their energy looking for it. And what they found was that some people were significantly better than others in terms of pushing the keys faster in response to these incredibly complicated patterns that they weren't consciously aware of. And interestingly, they found that there was a direct correlation to how rapidly they pushed the correct keys with these complex patterns and their belief in the supernatural.
In like a deity or a god or a religion.
Yeah, that's right. And that kind of belief is usually a sign of a closer relationship with the unconscious mind.
So let me see if I'm extrapolating correctly. So people who generally display a better sense of intuition, they also are more likely to report a relationship with God or some larger deity outside of themselves.
That's right. And that's not the only way it can manifest itself. It can also manifest itself in just general spirituality, in superstition, but just in a belief in things that are outside of their conscious control that impacts their life.
Okay, so that has a tangible effect on the way their brain processes the world.
Yes.
So it's almost like that feeds their intuition in some way.
They have this closer relationship with their unconscious. So they get all these wonderful intuitive ideas.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they have this awareness in the back of their head that there are other forces in control of their life. And where they put that force really depends on their culture, their upbringing. It could be a deity. It could be magic. It could be superstition.